Right now, somewhere in America, two people just got paid the exact same amount. Same job title, same salary, same tax bracket. In 20 years, one of them will retire with over $1 million. The other will still be working, still stressed, still wondering where all the money went. The difference between them has nothing to do with luck, and almost nothing to do with income. It comes down to one decision they make on a single day each month, payday. Here's the promise. By the end of this video, you'll understand the exact sequence of moves that separates people who build wealth from people who just survive paycheck to paycheck. No get-rich-quick nonsense. Just math, psychology, and a handful of principles that, once you see them, you can't unsee. So what's the hidden principle behind all of this? It's simple, but it's brutal. Money that touches your checking account before it's assigned. A job almost never ends up building wealth. Once it's sitting there, mixed in with rent money and grocery money, your brain treats it as spendable. The order of operations on payday determines your entire financial future. Get the order right, and wealth becomes almost automatic. Get it wrong, and no amount of income will save you. Let's break this into the 7 moves that matter most. Most people pay everyone else before they pay themselves, the landlord, the credit card company, the grocery store, and whatever's left. If anything goes to savings, flip that order. The moment your paycheck lands, a percentage moves to savings or investments before you see it in your spending account. Here's what most people don't realize. A person earning $60,000 a year who automatically saves just 10% before touching the rest ends up investing $6,000 annually. At a historically reasonable 8% average market return, that becomes roughly $280,000 in 20 years and over $700,000 in 30. The person who saves what's left almost always saves close to zero because there's rarely anything left. This is where most people get it wrong. They treat saving as optional instead of automatic. The takeaway: if saving depends on willpower, it will eventually fail. If it depends on automation, it can't. Here's where everything changes. When your savings sit in the same account as your spending cash, your brain doesn't distinguish between them. A separate account, ideally one that's slightly annoying to access, creates a psychological wall. Studies on behavioral finance consistently show that friction changes behavior more than motivation does. It's not about discipline, it's about design. The mistake most people make is keeping everything in one account for flexibility, which really just means for leakage. The takeaway: make your future money hard to reach, and your present self will stop fighting your future self. At first this seems harmless, cash feels safe, but the numbers tell a different story. With inflation averaging around 3% a year, $10,000 sitting in a non-interest checking account loses roughly $300 of purchasing power annually. Invisibly, over 10 years, that's nearly a third of its value gone without a single dollar being spent. This is why safe cash isn't actually safe long-term. Most people fail here because loss by inflation doesn't feel like loss. There's no notification, no alarm. It just quietly happens. The takeaway: cash protects you from short-term chaos, but only invested money protects you from long-term erosion. Imagine 2 investors. Investor A puts in $300 a month starting at age 25 and stops entirely at 35, letting it grow untouched. Investor B waits until 35, then invests $300 a month all the way to 65. Investor A only contributed for 10 years. Investor B contributed for 30. At an 8% average return, Investor A ends up with roughly $470,000 by 65. Investor B, despite contributing 3 times as long, ends up with around $410,000. Investor A wins and invests less total money. This is the part that breaks people's assumptions about wealth. Time in the market isn't a nice bonus, it's the entire engine. The common mistake is waiting for the right moment to start investing. There isn't one. The takeaway: the cost of waiting is often larger than the cost of a market downturn. Now, watch what happens when someone puts everything into one stock they believe in. If that company drops 50%, they need a 100% gain just to break even. A diversified portfolio spread across many companies rarely experiences that kind of collapse, because losses in one area are usually offset by strength in another. This is why professional investors rarely bet everything on a single company, no matter how confident they feel. The mistake isn't taking risk, it's taking concentrated, unnecessary risk. The takeaway: diversification doesn't limit your upside as much as people fear, but it dramatically limits your downside. Every dollar spent today is a dollar that can't compound tomorrow. A $150 monthly subscription doesn't just cost $150 invested. Instead, at 8% over 25 years, that same $150 a month becomes roughly $143,000. That's the true price. This is where most people get it wrong. They compare price to their paycheck instead of comparing price to its future value. The takeaway: the real question isn't, can I afford this? It's, what does this cost me 20 years from now? People assume wealth comes from big, dramatic financial moves. It doesn't. It comes from unglamorous repetition, the same percentage, saved on the same day, month after month, regardless of how the market feels that week. The investors who panic sell during downturns almost always underperform the ones who simply kept contributing on autopilot. The takeaway: boring, consistent behavior outperforms exciting, emotional decisions almost every time. Here's how all 7 of these connect. Paying yourself first creates the habit. Separating accounts protects the habit. Understanding inflation shows you why cash alone isn't enough. Starting early proves that time matters more than size. Diversification protects what you've built. Understanding opportunity cost changes how you see every purchase. And consistency ties it all together into a system that runs almost without you. So here's the smartest money move you can make every payday. Before you pay a single bill, before you check your balance, before temptation even has a chance to show up, move a fixed percentage into savings and investments automatically. That one decision, repeated for decades, is the quiet difference between the person who retires wealthy and the person who never quite gets ahead. The math was always simple. Most people just never put it in the right order.